Sup everyone, it's JOAT. Welcome back to a new review. Today we're going to be looking at Never Say Die Black Label's Black Ops XL3 presented by Akeos. I think this is the first Black Ops XL installment that I've ever fully listened to. So yeah, 10 tracks to get through. Other than that, let's get right into it. Starting with Akeos, what the fuck? I'm so used to saying Akeos, but I'm pretty sure it's Akeos. Akeos and Jool with Voltage Disc. A glossy, glitchy tune that gets better towards the end of the drops in my opinion. Both kind of start out pretty straightforward, tasteful, but still straightforward. I know Akeos' flows are pretty simple usually, with the sound design carrying the music. And this track isn't an exception to that rule, and I don't listen to Jool that much, or at all really, so I don't know how he exactly contributed. But my favorite sounds in this track are the sustains and those pinprick machine gun synths. And as a whole, this isn't bad. There's some much better material on this comp in my opinion though. Still solid. These chords are nice. Next up is Syzy with Yakisoba. Nice blend of jumpy rhythm on display. As usual from Syzy, those watery ringing sustains that come in are wild as fuck as well. And the wobbly sub underneath is pretty nice. He somehow makes room for all these different elements, and you can hear all of them very clearly, so yeah, another good tune. That laser synth is nice. Also have to mention this final piece of the song, how dreamy it is and breathtaking. Aweminus, Intagalactic. The thing that stands out most to me on this track are those melodic little bits in between the main sound design that have such an attitude. And don't get me wrong, the main sound design isn't bad, but it's kind of depressing and gets sluggish towards the end of these drops. In my opinion, Aweminus has dropped much better songs this year, especially at the beginning of this year. This is where it kind of gets tedious. Next up is Neonix with Spacewalk. So Neonix's music is usually hit or miss for me, but this is maybe my favorite tune of his to date. Move aside, Poopo. That motif is just an anthem, so boisterous and grand that it doesn't need any other supporting sound design elements for the most part. Second drop does justice with the same aesthetic and theme with slight variation in the melodicity. I love this one. Yo. I don't like the sound design as much as the original sound design, but I really don't mind it because that melody is just so thick. Akeos, Starbow Break. This is what I mean when it comes to Akeos. Some of their tunes are just in their own lane. This is my favorite tune of theirs from this comp. For that sub that just plays out non-stop and those seething synths that fill out everything else on top. Not to mention the weird melodic bits in between. Shit. I forgot about that. I forgot about that. Guillotine, Apex. This is my least favorite of the compilation. The execution is just kinda generic in my opinion. I like the sample and light 808 in the build-up, and the synths are okay, but the flow gets uninteresting to a point. I guess the sound design mirrors Guillotine's signature style, which I do respect. So I guess this mainly boils down to personal preference, and I'm not really into Guillotine's music, so yeah, that's just me. That sustain in the very back of the mix is also alright, getting to Blank Space with Computer Milk. The bleeps and boops are back if y'all watch my Fresh Blood compilation review. Y'all know that I was getting tired of hearing that sort of sound design since it's so prevalent on that compilation. Oh shit, there's a mosquito in my room. There's actually beepy bloopy songs that I like. Alarm Song by UK, Eclipse by Basic, and this. It just has to be executed well and simplistic to a point like this one is. Blank Space doesn't do more than he needs to, and yeah. Space. Akeos, Radio Wave 346. Comparing this track to the other Akeos tunes on this comp, it's partially in its own lane. At points, this tune reminds me a lot of Muerte, which is a good thing. I love that song. And those noisy spam loop bits remind me of Monrovia, and I love those. Yeah, gnarly, thick, tight sound design. The synths sound like they're being squeezed through a tube by how dense they are. That slight movement and variation to keep the track interesting is given to us in ample doses, so solid as fuck. Listen to how the second drop opens. Alright, second to last tune, Knoir with EMUU. Alright, so this first part of the drop reminds me of Joby a lot. The flow, the sound design, just much more lightweight and minimalistic. It's cool to listen to, but something is missing. Maybe something in the low mids. Then we get to the second part of the drop, which is so pretty and jangly. It's just a vibe. The same melodies repeated in the second part of the drop as well, with slightly different sound design. But if a melody speaks to me, then that's all I want from a tune. So this midsection is dreary and enchanting too. Nice work done here. All that's left to talk about is the first part of the drop, which is lasery and straightforward. My least favorite part of the song, but still tolerable and not bad, to be honest. Alright, so the final tune on this comp is Veer with Dysfunction. This is the wildest take on Veer's sound design I've heard from him so far. The sub gets more noticeable in the back end of the first drop, which I like, and this final drop is more focused than the first, but that sound design is just spazzing out across the track. Also one of my favorites from him with Recall and Jerk Off. Like the murky field of this part. Some melodicity shining out. This is so compact. Yeah, and that was the comp. There wasn't much to talk about with these tunes, but it was a solid selection. I, of course, liked some tracks better than others, but I could stylistically differentiate all of them from each other, so that's cool. And yeah, that was my review. Thank you for watching. Make sure to drop your opinions in the comments below. I love to hear them. And I will see y'all tomorrow with the Advanced EP, hopefully. Peace out.